And there's not even like, oh, I've known about this for 3 weeks. I could have slowly, because we wouldn't even have any of the roster, which is fine in a snowstorm.
Right. We're waiting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A big welcome into Tom Benson, Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio, adjacent to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. a place where every single one of these young men that we'll watch today hope to end up. But here's the thing. These kids probably have a better shot than most 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that you talk about, because it is the USA Football Middle School Bowl Game Series. Kids from all over the country tried out in regional tryouts to make these teams. They've split the teams up evenly, and we're going to have a lot of fun today from Tom Benson Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Moore. Standing alongside me high up in the press box here in Canton is Ryan Boyd. We've got two very talented teams here, three very talented games moving forward. This program is filled with prestige. 5 selections in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft came from this program. So there's going to be some future stars that we're watching today. It should be awfully exciting. We go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups. Right up front, Adam Cannon, 54 offensive lineman, Nicholas Englemore, Jack Donovan, Andrew Gunning, and Carter Gringle. That's the starting offensive line for the Valor. We continue on with the starting lineups as we try to roll through them here quickly. Valor and Courage, the two teams battling in this first game. We look at the quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks is really where we're looking at a lot of really great talent there. Eric Kasperowitz, Kelvin Smith, and Jamison Farley, 3 skill position players. Kasperowitz, great leader, type of kid who commands the huddle. High praise for him. So we continue on with the Valor starting lineup. Thomas Bacon Jr., probably the best name I've seen today. Grayson Robinson in the starting lineup for the Valor. Any names that pop out to you, Ryan? I mean, we've talked about the prestige of this program, the prestige of some of these players. The Courage lineup, Brennan Johnson, Zane Mosley, R.J. Pearson, Anthony Bridey in the starting lineup for Courage on the defensive end of things. Both these teams getting set, getting ready. Stephen Jones, Malik Winfield, Nick Kaljo in the starting lineup for the Courage. But Ryan, the coaching staffs on these teams is who I really want to talk about. We finish up the starting lineup: Robinson, Dowles, Ray, Dando, and Taylor. Because look at these where these coaches are coming from. San Jose State, Jeff Anderson is the head football coach for the Valor, and the head football coach for the Courage is the running back coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. So the coaches here, the players here, USA Football, an elite stadium. It should be an elite atmosphere.
Well, Lucas, it's good to be here with you today, first and foremost, and it's a beautiful day for football, and you're right. The prestige of this game is obvious just given the types of personalities that are involved in this year, and then, of course, as you look at history, you see the impact of other guys that have been involved, whether it's players or coaches. So we'll get into that a lot more during the course of 3 broadcasts today, but should be a terrific football game coached by some major personalities in the world of football.
No kickoffs and an offside penalty is how we'll begin. No kickoffs in today's game. 10-minute quarters, 40-second play clock. National Federation high school rules as 5 yards moving up from the 25 for Valor, who will start with the football.
Yeah, no kicks, which I like. I think you play for safety here. These kids are here to showcase themselves. The kickoff plays, the punt plays can be the most dangerous. They are still going to kick field goals and extra points, though, which is good to showcase some of the kicking talent that's actually here as well.
So 1st and 5 for the Valor. We'll begin with the football. Kasperowitz will toss right side to the running back, Kelvin Smith, who will be ganged up and pushed back after about a 2 or 3 yard pickup. Actually ended up losing a yard there after the push. It'll be 2nd down and medium for Valor.
Yeah, it was tremendous pursuit along the defensive front, and I think that's something you'll see today is there's some big bodies out there, some guys that can push around on both the offensive and defensive line, particularly at this level. You know, you're talking about kids that are under the age of 14, but big bodies. We down at field level before the game, we were seeing guys that were bigger and taller than we are, you know, so size, the battle in the trench is going to be interesting today.
Pistol formation, 2nd down and 7 to go for Valor. Rolling out right side, Kasperowitz, the left-handed quarterback, scrambling. Will get near the 35-yard line, pushed out of bounds, about a yard short, maybe 2 of that 1st down marker, and a 3rd and short upcoming for the Valor.
Be interesting to see the offensive sets for both these sides. Certainly believe they'll air it out a little bit. Quarterbacks in the pregame, we saw some really good arm talent.
Boy, they can throw for
there. Yeah, it's really something. And you think about it, the length of the field, you know, it's a long toss. And we were watching the quarterbacks throw from the middle of the field all the way to each sideline with no issue at all, which, again, for the under 14 age, it's great arm talent we'll see. But there's also some really powerful backs. So I'm interested to see the offense today.
Kasperowitz, 3-step drop under pressure, but has room to run. Will have a 1st down and then some, past the 40 to the 45, as Eric Kasperowitz, the starting quarterback for the Valor, picks up a 1st down with his feet.
Well, one of the things we were told about that young man playing quarterback is that he's very poised in the pocket. He knows what's happening around him, and in both these plays that we just watched, he didn't see a receiver open, knew the pocket was breaking around him, and he took off and got good yardage out of it.
So an offside started that drive. They ended up getting a first down on the first series of downs. Now Kasparowicz in the pistol. A handoff, Coven Smith is going to be wrapped up from behind. Great tackle trying to get a number of the young man that made that play. As I believe it was 91. In fact, it was Malik Winfield out of Big Lake, Minnesota. The defensive lineman, Big Lake, big arms as he swallows up Coven Smith for a 3-yard loss, and it's 2nd and 13.
Yeah, and you don't want to play from behind in terms of, 2nd down and long, 3rd down and long. So that's a big stop for the defense there after giving up some yardage early in this drive.
Ball at Valor's own 41-yard line. 2nd down and 13. Kasparowicz fires. It's going to be caught and slung down immediately at the 40. It will be the receiver.
And it was Leighton Robinson that made that stop out there, the defensive back. And that's the type of tackle you look for in a defensive back, a guy that can make a play when he's by himself on an island, if you will, and not allow extra yardage. That was a great individual defensive play.
Well, ends up being essentially an incomplete pass, 3rd down and 13. So Kasparowicz in a 3rd down and 12 situation. They'll actually stick him up a yard, out of the pistol, immediately under pressure again. This Courage defensive line really causing problems. Kasparowicz keeps his eyes downfield, tries to spin out of pressure, and ends up being ganged up right at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be 4th down in a punting situation, you'd imagine, for Valor.
Yeah, and in that situation, again, Leighton Robinson was there. We also saw Malik Winfield in the mix. Those guys have been swarming the football early. The other thing, Kasparowicz is a good scrambler, but he's a left-handed thrower. And in that situation, as he's coming to the side of where a right-handed thrower would feel more comfortable, it was hard for him. Once the defense snuffed out the fact that he was thinking about running, it's hard to position yourself to make a strong throw, and that's where that drive or that play in particular kind of fell apart for the Valor side.
So Jeff Anderson with a pretty easy decision, the head coach for Valor out of San Jose State. There is punting, but there won't be any rushes. It'll just be a fair catch wherever the ball lands. But the distance and length of the punt is still important. And fortunately for Courage, unfortunately for Valor rather, the bad snap won't matter. And beginning at the 34 is where Courage will begin their first drive here at the USA Football Middle School Bowl Game Series at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. USA Football, a member of the U.S. Olympic Committee, offers athletes premier skill building and competitive platforms to represent the United States in our favorite sport. Athletes in grades 6 to 11 can get started at one of 18 U.S. national team regionals held nationwide this spring and summer. Top performers earn U.S. national team roster invitations to face the world's best competition at under 16 to 19 levels. Visit usafootball.com for more information. That's usafootball.com. There was a catch earlier in that drive. We didn't have the number of it. It was Grayson Robinson, the wide receiver out of Reedsville. It's an incomplete pass on the first play for Courage. We'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Noah Taylor was the intended target there, just beyond that first down marker, unable to make the play. It'll be interesting. We talked quarterback on the side for Valor. Same thing with Courage. They had 2 really good arms warming up in the pregame. They're going to start with, it'll be 17, so it'll be Jurgensen that'll be the starting quarterback, but I think we'll see a lot of both arms in this one.
Bjorn Jurgensen out of Orlando attended the Atlanta Regional to get here. Jurgensen will be in the shotgun. He'll hand off to his running back, Brian Searcy, who will push forward right to the original line of scrimmage. And 3rd down and 10. Good defense early from both of these teams. A lot of push up front from the defensive line.
Yeah, and that's Benjamin Powell making that play. The big man in the middle. Strong hands, Lucas. Able to grab the jersey right around that shoulder pad and spin him down. Those hands are so important on the offensive and defensive line. Powell with a heck of a play right there.
Seriously, the running back out of Bellwood could not pick up any yardage. At the 34-yard line is Courage. They received the ball on a punt. Valor picked up 1 first down on their opening drive. Jurgensen will be in the shotgun. Take the snap. Quick throw right side will be caught by Noah Taylor, and he'll be brought down. And it'll be 4th down in a punting situation upcoming for Courage.
And that's Evan Toth that made that tackle. Again, it's the same situation. There is a flag down, Lucas, by the way, but you put a DB in a position where he's got to make a tackle. In fact, you give the receiver space there because you know that they have to go quite a distance to get the first. You just ask your DB to make a tackle, and Toth did just that.
That looked like unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be the call on Valor. Getting a little tense down there. And that's going to be an unfortunate mistake for Valor because Courage is going to get a first down out of this as they walk the ball past the 45 out to the 50-yard line, exactly almost the dead middle of the field. And a first down and almost plus territory for Courage. We haven't seen either team enter the other team's territory yet.
Yeah, and obviously, as much as this is a fun opportunity for these kids, it's also a learning opportunity. And they'll find quickly that those are the types of penalties that will kill your football team. Today, maybe not as important in terms of the ramifications of winning or losing, but in their middle school seasons and those sorts of things, it'll matter.
Jurgensen hands off the middle. It'll be a 2-3 yard pickup for Brian Searcy. And second down and 8 now for Valor. Other coaches on this roster for Courage, rather. Gerald Chapman, the head coach for Courage. He is a position coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. He brought along one of his buddies, Nick Eason, as well, for the Cincinnati Bengals. So not just college coaches here, but professional coaches making their way out. Second down and 8 over halfway through this first quarter. In the shotgun, Jurgensen, 3-step drop, quick throw out. Ball will be caught near the first down marker, pushing towards the sideline. As Christian Soltis out of Freehold, New Jersey, makes the play.
It was a great route and a good throw as well. That one's got to be perfect because you as a receiver, you run, you stop, you turn, and you expect the football to be right there as you turn, and that's exactly what happened there, and it set up a third down and short.
At the 42-yard line of Valor is the Courage. And in the shotgun will be Jurgensen. To his right, Jerkowski. Jurgensen takes the snap, puts it in the belly of Jerkowski's pushing forward towards the 40. Won't reach the first down marker. They'll mark him 2 yards short, and a decision upcoming for Gerald Chapman, head football coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, if he was taught by Marvin Lewis here in this situation, Ryan, they're definitely going to punt. But we'll see what Chapman wants to do here at USA Football. A little more fun of a game.
Yeah, it looks like a roll of the dice here, playing the position or the position of the field, playing that game. You got to like your chances, though. You got to put it in the hands of your big men up front and expect an opportunity to get a first down. As we look at a replay of the last one, again, look at the number of guys for that Valor defensive line that got in the mix, and they're going to do it again right here, Lucas.
Big time push from Valor, and they'll stop Courage on fourth down, and it's turnover on downs with just over 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter of the first game of the Middle School Bowl Game Series at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. 21st Century Football is here, built by USA Football. The football development model is a framework for fun and fitness through America's favorite sport. Open to every youth and scholastic program. Sign up to discover football's future at usafootball.com/FDM. That's usafootball.com/FDM. Ball back in the hands of Valor. Ryan, 0-0 tie. Both these defensive lines doing a very good job.
Yeah, defensive lines have dominated thus far. New quarterback in there, by the way, and he's not going to have much more luck as there's that big-time sack on the first play.
Lamar Best brought down by Bryce Daniels, first name William, out of Dover, Delaware.
And that's one of those plays, Lucas, where there was some kind of miscommunication because Best turned as if he was going to give the football to a tailback and there was nobody waiting for him. These types of things happen, especially when you don't play with these young men on a day-to-day basis, right? They've just been practicing the last handful of days as we take a look at the replay on that one. You see how he turned. His running back was on the other side of him, Lucas, and it left him pretty much with no defense in the backfield, and that's why that sack happened.
Still great work by Daniels to have that penetration. Best scrambling under pressure. He's going to end up picking up yardage here, a lot of plus yardage. Gets past the original line of scrimmage out to the 45. And Lamar Best out of Willingboro, New Jersey. Kids from all over the country. I mean, we looked at this list a few days ago about where these kids were from, the states they were from, and we were wondering what states not included. We couldn't find any Hawaii or Alaska. But continental U.S., about everybody's got to represent it.
Yeah, it's amazing. The kids come from everywhere to play here, and then next week there's going to be a game or a set of games that are going to be played in Dallas or in the Dallas area. I think Frisco, similar story. Kids from all over the country travel to play in these major. I mean, these are primetime games for kids of this age.
Blitz coming for Courage. Best under pressure, fires, and it's going to be picked off. Brought down by Wesley Wright, the defensive back, and he'll take it to the 50. A bobbling interception, and Lamar Best, not a good series from him. Faced pressure and then trying to step up and make a tough throw into double coverage. And Courage has the biggest play of the game so far with Wesley Wright out of Peyton, Colorado making that play.
Check out this replay here. You'll see what you were talking about, Lucas. The double coverage at the bottom of the screen. Ball is underthrown, and the interception bobbled, but the wherewithal to stick with it, make the play. And after that interception was made, the coaching staff on that far side jumping up and down. You can tell they're into this one. That's a big play for the men in red today.
Well, those coaches, they didn't get where they are without being competitive, so I'm sure that they're going to be competitive with this game today, U14 or not. First down and 10 from the 50 for Courage. And at quarterback, still Jurgensen. It'll hand off left side. Getting some plus yardage near the first down marker is Brian Searcy out of Bellwood, Illinois. He picks up 9 yards on first down, out to the 41-yard line of Valor. And Courage seems to be on the front foot through this first quarter. Brian, Troy is who we work with back where our other place. But Ryan, it seems to be on the front foot for Courage so far.
Yes, certainly on the front foot. And that was the first run right there that has really opened up some space, especially on the interior. And here's another opportunity, and look at that space again.
Searcy again, speed to the outside, the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Searcy to the house. 41-yard touchdown run. And Courage strikes first here at Tom Benson Memorial Stadium. Just under a minute to play, and Brian Searcy, exclamation point of a run here, Ryan.
And it's the afterburners that impressed me on this play. Obviously, good vision to break it to the outside, but once he gets around this corner, Lucas, check out this speed. He is gone. One man to beat. There he goes down the sideline, touchdown. That kid is fast, good vision. That's a beautiful run. First points on the board in this one.
And a really interesting situation. There's one kicker on both these rosters, and he belongs to Team Valor. So he'll be kicking the extra point for Courage.
Let the conspiracy theory start if he misses this one.
And it's up and through. That's easy. Kick will be good by Luke Rivers from Woodbury, Minnesota.
Well, and the fascinating thing about him, sorry, Lucas, is just the fact that his brother is the kicker at the University of Minnesota. So there's some bloodlines there, if you will, in terms of the potential to be a college-level kicker.
Well, and just to give some of our viewers background on you and I's experience and from where we're coming from, we cover high school football in the state of Ohio in Southeast. So we see a lot of kids that are a little older than this, and we understand, where the talent fits. And I'll tell you what, that's some of the best extra point kicking I've seen in the past 3 or 4 years. It's incredible.
Yeah, Southeast Ohio not known for its kickers. There's some good football down there, but just not kicking. It's fun for me too, Lucas. I do some college football at the D1 level as well, do some color commentary, and it's fun to see the kids at this level. Then we see it at high school, then we see it at the college level, and there really is a progression that happens. So this is really neat today.
Well, Valor down 7-0 late in this first quarter. Taking the snap, handing off right side, looking for room to run. Getting pushed out of bounds, not really finding anything. It'll be Coven Smith out of Gainesville, Virginia. Smith been getting the bulk of the carries early for Valor.
And it was Dion Giles-Ray that made the stop there on the outside. There was actually a pretty nice lead block that was happening on the Valor side, but Giles-Ray still was able to shoot up from his defensive back spot and make a tackle in the backfield. Really good stuff so far from the Courage side.
And they've got a 7-0 lead to show for it. Second down and 11 after the loss from Smith. 40-second play clock today. NFHS, that's the National Federation of High Schools rules, is what governs this contest. And taking the snap under pressure and brought down from behind, a big-time sack from Reno Bianchi of the Courage. Actually, that'll be Stephen Jones' correction.
Bagwell sacked by Jones.
As Bagwell taken down. The quarterback in right now, Ethan Bagwell out of Maryville, Illinois.
Bring up third down and 15.
And that should bring the end to the first quarter. And in fact, it does. It's third down and 15 for Valor, and they're in a hole, 7-0. the lead for Courage. Brian Searcy with speed gives the Courage a lead. You're watching the Middle School Bowl Game Series on Facebook Live.
In 2018, more than 10,000 high schools, middle schools, and youth organizations enrolled in USA Football's Heads Up Football program. The nationally renowned program takes a comprehensive approach to a better, safer game, covering player safety and football fundamentals for high schools, middle schools, and youth leagues. Enroll your program at usafootball.com/headsup. At the start of the second quarter.
And a welcome back in to Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. 7-0 lead for Courage. I'm Lucas Moore, joined by Alan Pops, a representative of USA Football. We'll talk about this game as Bagwell will take the snap out of an empty. Handoff, Coben Smith, right side. Room to run, the speed across the 30. Now he's cutting back. Room to run, Smith, but he's going to be brought down from behind. But a big-time first down run from Coben Smith right across the 40-yard line. And this is the first time Valor has really seen some momentum in this game. But Al Pops, he's joining us today. He knows about everything there is to know about these players. How about Coben Smith? Doesn't seem like the biggest kid, but a great run there for a first down.
Absolutely. You know, in our meeting before the game here, we talked about it. Coben Smith went to our Baltimore regional camp, and that's how he got here. You know, we saw him. He's not the biggest, as you can see here, but look at him cut. You know, his feet are elite for this level. Very talented young guy.
Speaking of those regional camps, that came together over about a 2-month process as Bagwell out of the pistol. Fire quickly left side, flag on the play. As making the catch, Parker Kennedy III. He'll get about halfway to the first down marker. We'll see what his penalty is. But these regional competitions, what are those tryouts like? I mean, how intense are they? They're all across the country, in cities all across the country, as it's going to be an illegal motion on Valor. That'll push them back 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. It seems like an awesome experience for a lot of these kids. What are the participation numbers like? Describe that regional tryout setup to get to this game.
Yeah, the regionals look great. You know, this year we had 18 of them across the country. They're a 2-day non-contact experience for these players where we bring in current college coaches and some of the elite high school coaches in the different markets. And we put these kids through 2 days of skills and drills, small group meetings where the coaches aren't just looking at them and saying, hey, number 37. The coaches get to know their names. They get to know about who they are, where they're from. And it's all an effort to make them better football players and better student athletes across the board.
The first down and 15. Bagwell, bad snap. Let's see what Smith can do with the football. A nice stiff arm will get him about a yard extra back to the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard.
Smith with the carry.
And when in terms of the U14 level, if you're not having any contact in these drills, how are you picking the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, the big skill guys? Obviously, there's some drills you can do without contact, but that seems like a hard place to determine talent at those positions.
Well, especially, you know, athletes at any age, you know, when they're not in full pads, it's a little bit more difficult. But you can check out a lot of stuff, right? You can see how they move their feet. You can see if they compete. You can see if they quit on themselves after they, you know, make a bad play.
2nd and 17. Dump off right side. Grayson Robinson, room to run. Robinson, 45-40, 35-30. Robinson, separation, and a touchdown for Valor. Quick screen to the right, and Grayson Robinson from Reidsville, North Carolina, answers the Courage strike back with a strike of his own. Big plays galore early in this one.
You know, who says 6th graders, 7th graders can't throw the football a little bit, right?
I mean, this is a great screen outside. Great read by Bagwell. I'm sure this is a simple read, quick out. But good blocking. Robinson, you see it out in front, and then the speed right here. I mean, this is probably what you saw at the regional tournament with Grayson Robinson, is this breakaway speed.
Yeah, those are the things that you can see, right? We're talking about the little things, the speed, the footwork, the quickness. With the linemen, do you see their size? Do you see that aggressiveness when they punch their hands? You know, there are things you can pick up, certainly, and that's why we do those regionals. You know, we're looking for the brightest and the best people on and off the field.
And the kick will be no good. How about that? Valor kicker Luke Ryers, whose brother is a kicker at Minnesota, he made the kick for Courage, and then he gets to take the kick for Valor, and he misses it. So Valor down 7-6, hurting his own team, which conspiracy theories in reverse.
Right? Kicker's not the most popular guy on the team until he needs to be the most popular guy on the team.
8:41 remaining in this second quarter. Valor just struck back with a touchdown, 7-6. Out pops from USA Football joining us here in the second quarter. And beyond the regional tryouts, what else does USA Football try to do in terms of the growth of the game? I've seen you guys have a lot of campaigns in trying to grow the game of football, grow the safety of the game of football, and increase those participation numbers that have taken some drops in some areas around the country.
That's absolutely it, man. We just want to show people that football is a great game. It's a great game. It can develop you as an athlete, as a person. You know, we just want everybody to enjoy this game in whatever avenue you play, whether it be flag, whether it be a development, whether it be tackle football. We just want people to enjoy the game of football and what it brings.
New quarterback in the game for Valor. It's going to be a pass interference, rather for Courage. Pass interference will be on Valor. Intended receiver there was Elijah Christie. New quarterback in the game, Shane Throgmartin, Beaufort, Georgia. And Shane is a guy I want to talk about because you said to me that he has the potential to be very special. And watching him in warm-ups, Throgmartin just seems to have the best arm out of any of these U14 quarterbacks. Just the way it comes out of his hand, from what I've seen, it looked really good in warm-ups.
Right, he's from Beaufort, Georgia, that Gwinnett County, Georgia. Everybody knows that football is king down there. And this kid, 5'7", 130 pounds, this young in the way he throws the ball, like you said. I mean, again, he's young, but potential is there to be absolutely special.
Martin will hand off right side and wrapped up immediately, the runner. About a half a yard loss there.
You know, we've talked a lot about the on-field stuff. You know, watching these kids on campus at Walsh University this week, watching them interact with each other. You got kids from Florida becoming friends with kids from Vermont who would have never met if it wasn't for an event like this in a game like football. So we talk about how it's great on the field. Yeah, it's wonderful watching this. But watching the kids off the field and how they become, you know, friends on social media and everything, it's crazy to watch.
Even if, so the goal of a lot of these kids, as the carry on the last play, I just wanted to get that out there, was Stephen Griffith Jr., the running back out of Denver. But beyond even, because all these kids are talented enough, they made a regional tryout, they're playing at Tom Benson Memorial Stadium with some of the best kids around the country. I think every kid here, as Throgmartin quickly throws left side on a screen pass, it'll be caught, breaking one tackle and being dragged down near the 45, the Courage receiver. As on the catch there was Noah Jabor. But all these kids probably expect, at least at their point in their life right now, to play Division I football. At least that's the goal. But beyond that, even if they don't make it to that level, just even being here at this stadium, making the friends they made, and playing in this game is an incredible experience.
It's an experience I wish I had as a student athlete. I mean, I didn't go on to play Division I football, but now I work in football because the game means that much to me, and I love it so much. And, you know, you look at the percentages, it's a very small margin that make that Division I level. However, what you get from football, even this young, clearly makes an impact on your life.
3rd down and 6. Courage up by 1. First 3rd down for Throgmartin. He'll step back under pressure, and that's a great throw. Taking a hit, but it'll be incomplete. Intended target was Noah Taylor, and I'll be honest, I think Taylor just stopped running that route. That looked like a great throw out of the hands of Throgmartin. That might be one of those communication things that you try to develop with a receiver, when to keep going. I'm going to throw to your outside shoulder, inside shoulder, and that's tough to develop over just a week of practice.
Right, exactly. It could be. You know, they had 2 practices a day leading up to here. They had 1 scrimmage on Thursday night. So you only really had 5 practices in a scrimmage to install an offense, install a defense, get to know your teammates. You know, there's a little bit of magic involved.
And the punt will be away, and wherever Valor catches it is where they'll begin their next drive. It'll be at the 32-yard line. 7-6 Courage lead. Valor defense steps up with the quarterback Throgmartin making his way on the field. 6:39 left in the second quarter. USAFootball.com is your home to gain an edge on the field. Be a better coach, player, or football parent at USAFootball.com. So in terms of safety of the game, that's a big topic for a lot of people. And it's got to be a big point of emphasis for you guys at USA Football.
All right, it absolutely is. I mean, safety in anything that you do whether it be sports, whether it be, at work. You want safety to be number one, and obviously that's what we're trying to do, with football. We want to continue to grow the game, want to grow the game safely.
Valor will have the football back at the 32-yard line. Kasparowicz back in at quarterback. So he'll take it from the shotgun. Pitch out right, and that was a pass play to try to set up, and it's going to be flag in the backfield. Looked like some sort of pass or a really bad broken up sweep, but it did not look like it worked the way it was supposed to. And we'll see what this penalty marker is. And how creative, you've talked to these coaches, and these, as it'll be a face mask on Courage, so a really fortunate play for Valor. They'll get a first down. But these coaches, how good are they? I mean, how much do they know about the game? These guys are incredible out of San Jose State. Just some of the things you've heard them teach the players. Have you been impressed by what these coaches bring in terms of football knowledge?
I think impressed would be an understatement. Here this week, we have 38 out of the 42 coaches, either college-level coaches or obviously the two coaches from the Cincinnati Bengals. So 38 out of the 42 are at the collegiate level doing it for a living.
Toss left side, a lot of room to run for the Valor running back. Will be tripped up across the 50. Near the first down mark. On to carry there is Canton Northington, the running back out of Evansville. But a holding on Valor is going to bring it back. Another flag.
Circling back to the coaching question, if you just walk around the 3 different practice fields over there at Walsh University, the little things that you pick up that you never even thought of, like you play catch in the backyard with your dad, but listening to the quarterback coaches really coach these kids up about keeping their shoulder up and squaring their shoulders on the run and all that. It's just amazing how they could take a very difficult thing and simplify it for these young kids to understand, and then seeing them put that to work, what they're taught, is great.
Kasparowicz under pressure, hands off to his running back, who's going to be steamrolled up front. And making an impression today is Malik Winfield out of Big Lake, Minnesota. He's made a couple really nice plays, and this Courage defensive line has been really stifling. In terms of roster construction, how do you guys go about designing these rosters for each of these teams to try to get as many balanced games as possible?
That's a great question. So we try to keep these games, we do it 2 ways. First is your year of birth, right? We want all the kids, no matter what grade you're in, we want you being born in the same year. If that didn't shake out the rosters properly, the second filter we went to was what grade they just completed this year. So between those two, we have the most balanced and even rosters that we could make.
Kasparowicz dumps out a pass to the left side. It's barely going to make up half the distance to the original line of scrimmage, as Rico Bond brought that down.
Rico Bond, man, there's a special kid. He went to the Indianapolis Regional, which we had at the Colts indoor practice facility a couple months ago, and as a 7th grader, won the defensive back MVP of the entire camp. So beating out high school athletes, beating out other middle school athletes, but as a 7th grader, won the MVP chain.
Bond out of Missouri. And you find stories like that across the camp, no matter age. Just some kids are going to be great kids. And an offside penalty will assist the Valor on a 3rd down and 18. Make it 3rd down and 13. And you mentioned Jackie Avester. He led the entire camp for warm-ups on the last day. I mean, that's when you're like that at the lowest age group leading the entire camp, that shows some leadership ability.
You said his name, and I immediately started smiling. This was a kid who had the entire camp talking. He's got to be 5'1". He's got to be 145, 150 pounds. He does not have the size that a lot of these kids have. But if you took his heart and his love for the game and put it in every other player in America, I mean, this country would be better off. The kid, he just makes you smile. He's infectious to be around.
3rd down and 13. Kasparowicz, the lefty, scrambling out right, under pursuit. He's going to tuck and run, and is going to be pushed out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage. 3 or 4 yards won't be enough to keep the Valor from deciding to punt, I'd imagine, as head coach Jeff Anderson out of San Jose State will in fact elect to punt the ball away. 1-point game over halfway through this second quarter play. 7-6, Courage in the lead. Al Pops from USA Football joining us here. Now your last name. You told me to say Pop so I wouldn't mess it up, but you want to say your real last name?
Yes, for the country who doesn't know, Alan Papadines.
Papadines.
It's a very...
That's not too hard, I guess.
All the letters rhyme. It's really tough. I just go by Pops. Much easier.
And the punt is away. We'll see where the Courage begin with this football. It'll take a bounce. Fortunate bounce, but Stop at the 33-yard line, and that's where Courage will begin the next drive. Okay, competitiveness. We saw the coaches really get off their feet when Wesley Wright made that interception earlier in this game. How much do these guys care about winning? I think that's what it's obviously about development. It's obviously about all those great things. But when this gets down to the fourth quarter, I find it hard to imagine to tell these D1 professional football coaches to not be a little bit competitive.
I mean, in anything in life, the goal is to win, right? You want to do your best. You want to put your best foot forward. So do these coaches. You know, no Cincinnati Bengals NFL coach wants to say, yeah, I got showed up by a college coach. You know, and no college coach wants to say I got showed up by a high school coach. You know, it's pride in what you're doing.
Throw from Throgmorton, a nice one. A little in route. It'll be an 8-yard pickup. Intended target, Rico Bonds. Catch made.
We had one of the coaches, he'll be coaching later today. He lost some type of competition or bet during practice. He had to do up downs in front of the whole team. So these coaches they're with it, man. They're in the trenches with these kids, and they want everyone to do well.
How do you convince these coaches to come out here? Is it more of a just kind of like this is development for them coaching? These college coaches get to get an early look at some really good recruits. Is it 2nd down and 2? Throgmorton will hand off Searcy. Searcy, we saw him go for an explosive run earlier. He's out across the 50, 45-40, making men miss, continuing to make men miss. 35-30 brought down there. Great tackle on the back end by Anquan Richmond Jr. to keep Brian Searcy from making his 2nd impact play of this game. And unfortunately, a player down near the 35-yard line. While they attend to the injured player on the field, we'll go ahead and take a look at this replay. And what a great run here from Brian Searcy. Talk about Searcy and what he's brought to camp so far.
He's been electric. This is, you know, I wasn't even shocked when I saw the earlier run or this. I mean, he's done this all week long, making people miss here. Good usage of stiff arms, good usage of his feet. You know, he's an agile back that we loved at the regional. Obviously made his way here. We only took 3 running backs per team, and he's one of the best 3 that we saw.
And running backs, the most populated position, some would say, in terms of talent across the sport of football. Just so many athletic guys able to run the football in this sport. But while they attend to this injured player, we're going to go ahead and step aside and take a break. Courage leads 7-6, 3:07 left in this opening half. It's USA Football, live from Tom Benson Memorial Stadium in Canton. And a big welcome back to Tom Benson Memorial Stadium here in Canton. As shotgun snap taken by Courage's Throgmorton, he'll hand off Searcy. Searcy across the 25, dragged down by the feet again by Anquan Richmond Jr. Seems to be the only Valor player to be able to make any of these tackles. But an 8-yard pickup for Searcy on first down, and he continues to make an impact, on our broadcast. Al Pops continuing to join us from USA Football. In terms of the national tournament, this is one of the things that I did not know happened was the international series. I was not aware that USA Football was competing against other countries. How many other countries participate in the international series? How wide of a spectrum is it? What's the talent level and competition like?
Sure. So our international bowl happens every January. We've been fortunate enough to be at AT&T Stadium the last few years down in the Dallas area. And, we get different countries that come. They football is a global game.
Throgmorton, big throw, in and out of the hands. Rico Bond thought he had himself a walk-in touchdown, but the throw just a tad high and the gloves just not sticky enough for Bond to make that play.
So football is a global game. It's played around the world, 71 different countries. And, we bring Japan. We've brought Mexico. This year, France is going to be coming for the first time. Obviously, the different provinces in Canada come. So, it's a global game, and other countries stack up their best, and, we bring ours.
Well, NFL Europe was a thing that was successful for quite a while. They still have some teams over there in terms of professionally in Europe. Throgmorton will hand off. Jerkowski left side. He's at the 20, cutting up, and will be brought down near the 15.
I like the change of pace there. He's more of a powerful back, whereas Searcy is, clearly Searcy's been on the ladder drill a lot. You see his feet always moving. And Jerkowski's more of a power guy between the tackles, but, he can get to the edge as well if you need him to.
Coaches have done a good job so far in this game, keeping playing time balanced. Every one of these kids definitely deserves to be out here.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the positives of the game is that all the depth chart, throw it out. I mean, all these kids are just that incredible that it doesn't matter you're first, second, or third in the depth chart. You're playing in this game. It means you're good.
You didn't get this far for nothing. You know what I mean? You're going to get on the field. You're going to make an impact. You're going to put on for yourself, your city, your parents, everybody.
At the 16-yard line, the Courage up by 1. Throgmorton, quick roll out right. Toss towards the end zone. Couldn't find Taylor.
Got another beautiful ball by him. He's going to be special.
Came a little wobbly out of the hands, but good placement. Noah Taylor just not fast enough to get to that football. But you can see, one, the slight drop back to the right. He felt the pressure off the blind side immediately, and you saw him adjust his drop back to shift the pocket over. Seeing what grade is Throgmorton in?
6th grade.
Seeing a 6th grader adjust the pocket during his drop back is extremely impressive.
I don't think I could do that sitting here at 33 years old.
Oh, no.
I'd feel the pressure and crumble, and he just, adjusted it and made a beautiful throw.
In the shotgun now, Jerkowski in the backfield alongside him. Throgmorton high snap, fakes the handoff, dump out left side of the tight end out across the 10. Big body pushing forward. Be Graham Dunn out of Lexington, Kentucky. And a first down inside the 10. 1st and goal upcoming for Courage.
Martin's pass complete to Neely.
And 50 seconds remain, and a timeout will be used smartly here
Gain of 9 to bring up
by the Courage head coach Cheryl Chapman. So 50 seconds, huge opportunity for Courage inside the 10-yard line. Al Pops, I'll ask you a little color analyst question. What do you think the Courage are going to go to here? They've got 2 timeouts, and they've got 3rd and 1, so they need to get another yard. I thought it was 1st and goal, but it's 3rd and 1 from the 7. What's your plan here?
I'm doing a quick pass with Throgmorton. He's shown the ability to get back in his drop quick. He's able to fire the ball to the left and to the right. I'm dialing up some type of quick slant or maybe a quick button hook type route. But, use your quarterback to your advantage, especially when you got a special one like him.
Valor defensively, they've got to be ready for everything, though. Jerkowski, a power back, he can sure get a yard. Searcy with speed could get a yard on a pitch.
I say that, you throw it here, it's 3rd and 1, incomplete pass, that's fine. You can still pick up that first down on 4th and 1. I'd rather throw on 3rd and 1 than 4th and 1.
Options for the Courage. And Gerald Chapman, their head coach. Throgmorton in the shotgun. Jerkowski next to him. They'll hand off to Jerkowski, and he will be dragged down from behind, but does pick up the yardage for what appears to be a first down at first glance.
I guess that's why I don't coach, huh?
3rd down and 1. I liked your play call. I would have been down for that.
In Madden, I think it works every time.
Jerkowski with the carry.
Clock stop on a first down. 40 seconds remain in the half. First down and goal now for the Courage. And they'll smartly let this clock roll a little bit. They've got 3 plays and 2 timeouts. Throgmorton fires, end zone, touchdown, Rico Bond. On a slant route, the timing of that was pitch perfect. And Courage up 13-6.
See, they just reversed what I was going to do. It's fine. It's fine.
Little 5-yard pitch and catch. Throgmorton, Bond, both guys you're very high on, and this is timing at its finest in terms of route running.
6-yard touchdown pass from
Bond broke it off. Throgmorton saw the corner, bad position. Easy.
Yep, D-back got caught with his eyes in the backfield looking at the play action. Rico Bond's too quick of a wide receiver to recover. Good throw, good catch.
And great read by Throgmorton. As soon as he saw that defensive back's feet lock up, he knew exactly where he was going with the football. And we'll see if the extra point from Ryers is good, and it is. And he's made both extra points for Courage. Missed the only one he took for Valor. He is a Valor player. 14-6, Courage in the lead. 24 seconds left in the half. The only bad thing about scoring is you do leave a little bit of time for a Valor team with a lot of talent to possibly break a big play before we head into intermission.
USA Football, thanks to parents and families.
And it's a good time to remind you that the sport's best work with USA Football to teach the latest in blocking and tackling. Learn, teach, and perform USA's football contact and tackling systems for smarter and stronger play. Visit footballdevelopment.com today. That's footballdevelopment.com. And also, great coaches are always learning. USA Football makes it easy to lift your knowledge and your team. Click Development and Training at usafootball.com and see what coaches are talking about. Click Development and Training at usafootball.com today. USA Football involved with the development of the game at all levels. The U19 is the highest level. So is that only high school kids, or do you get some college players that participate at that U19 level?
Right, so that U19 means under 19. So you're looking at your seniors in high school that are going to be going off to great colleges in the fall. So their senior year can be spent with us at USA Football and the U.S. national team.
And the numbers of the U19, it was nearly 100% Division I as they try a double reverse. And they'll end up getting a little bit of yardage. Robinson with a great play. Escaping Grayson Robinson. Are you kidding me? 50-45. The speed. It's breakaway. One man to beat. Oh, my Lord. 75 yards. Grayson Robinson. A broken play. They were trying for a double reverse to Robinson. He ends up catching in a weird position. Shimmy, shake, speed, touchdown in a blink. And Valor down 2. You imagine they'll try to go for 2 here. Tie the game up before the half.
They say football is the ultimate team game, which it is, but that was an excellent solo performance right there.
I mean, just incredible from Robinson. The long strides, so impressive. And speed for a kid that age is something to behold. And they will elect to kick here. So no 2-point conversion. Feel pretty comfortable just being down 1. We'll see if Ryers, who's getting a lot of opportunities here at the end of the half, will make his second kick for Team Valor. Kick is up. Nailed this one. And 14-13. Still 8 ticks left on the first half clock. And Courage, they've got some great athletes too. This half ain't quite over yet. We could see something happen just before the buzzer.
And to think this is the undercard. We got the main event coming later on with the U15 game, Stars and Stripes.
And it's not, these guys aren't running against scrubs on defense. These are some of the best defensive players in the country too.
Absolutely. Talent on both sides of the ball in all 3 games we'll see today. I'm excited. If we're getting this in half 1, game 1, man.
Well, some of the alumni that have come from USA Football, the names are big. Todd Gurley, Jameis Winston, Tyrann Mathieu, Devin Funches, Stephon Tuitt, N'Keal Harry, Dwayne Haskins, very popular in the state of Ohio. New Washington Redskin. A lot of talent has come out of this program, a lot of high-level talent. And I'm sure if we got a full list out, it would be pages long.
It absolutely would. 6 of the top 60 NFL draft picks from this past year were NFL U.S. national team alumni.
That's just an incredible, when you're touting a number like that, it means you're one of the best, if not the best, developmental football organizations in the country.
Absolutely. You know, I think we are the best, hands down, with the way that we develop our coaches, the way that we develop our players. And when those two entities come together, it's no wonder this game is where it is, and how much it's improving, getting safer, and everywhere across the board, every level of football is improving every single day.
In terms of preparing these kids for high school, I mean, a lot of these guys turn out to be high school stars from where they're from. Does USA Football try to assist them once they get into their school environment? Do coaches stay in contact that they meet at these games and these camps?
We're a family. We all got T-shirts that say family across the front. Our alumni in the NFL have family T-shirts because we keep in touch. What we teach these kids this week, they take back to their programs, and we stay in touch with them. We want to see them succeed.
We'll see what Courage can do on the final play. It'll be a pitch right. Searcy will throw, and it's going to be caught. Are you kidding me? It's a foot race to the end zone, and winning it will be Christian Soltis. Touchdown, Courage. Haymaker, haymaker. It's a heavyweight title fight. Big throw after big throw, big play after big play, and Courage up by 7 again. This time there is 0 seconds in the half. All we got left is an extra point, and we can head into halftime. But Brian Searcy with a running back pitch and catch, and Soltis to the end zone.
In the movie Friday Night Lights, Booby Miles' uncle goes, and he can pass. I think that's perfect right there.
An opportunity for an extra point to make it an 8-point game from Ryers to end the half, as that was back-to-back 75-yard touchdown plays. One from Valor, one from Courage. Extra point good, and halftime here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton is 21-13. Al Pops, thank you so much for joining us, and you'll be back for the other 2 games today. It'll be a lot of fun. We're excited for a great day of festivities and a great day of big plays just like that.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to Game 2 and Game 3. What else can we say? This has been great.
It's been incredible. A lot of talent so far. Ryan Boyd and I will have half number 2. Courage 21, Valor 13. This is the middle school bowl game series at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton.
Taking part in contests or receiving alerts about new videos and blogs. You can follow USA Football on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to get in on the action.
Team USA out here, bro. Team USA, we out here giving back to our community. You feel me? It's the only way to do it.
I am so grateful to have this group of friends here today from USA Football. They are here engaged in varsity.
USA!
Y'all
For me, it has nothing to do with what level you're playing at. This is just the right way to tackle it. We really think that we're seeing the future of football.
Right foot, and boom. Because it has a hamstring, eyes to the thighs, and make sure eyes are looking up.
What we've achieved here really is a landmark moment. The idea that the NFL, Pete Carroll and Rocky said and the Seahawks all come together to ensure that there's going to be consistent technique and consistent terminology taught through the shoulder tackling system.
We believe in shoulder contact here. We think that we have ways that we would like to share with you that might help your game.
I think because of maybe some of the naming, heads up and hawk, people fail to realize that the actual fundamental principle was we wanted to tackle with our shoulders.
If this system didn't work on the field, we wouldn't be having this conversation. This is where the game is going, and we want to make sure that we're working as best we can to solidify this game for the future.
No, yeah, come on, you good. You're going to be right here, and we're going to send it back. Or the strongest person needs to be in the back, yeah.
Well, today, USA Football gives us the opportunity to come out here and help the local food and toy bank.
These young people that we're real proud of are unloading Christmas toys that we're getting ready for the Christmas store for 2019.
I think it's actually helping in a lot of ways. Like, we're working together as a team off the field.
Being able to talk to everybody and really just grow as a family, it's really positive not only on the field, but off the field.
Christmas good times, it's good for the soul, and it's a good feeling knowing that you're being a part of something, bigger than yourself.
Hey guys, thank you very, very much, y'all.
Better athletes. We believe in developing football players in a way that makes sense for both their physical and mental development. By providing multiple entry points and options, we can ensure that each person who wants to play can start and succeed in a way that's developmentally appropriate for them. Because we believe everyone should experience the fun and enjoyment of America's game. Together, we are creating the future of football. Join us at usafootball.com/FD.
It's one of those things that we're in our 50s and we've been through this, and oh, sorry. I'm in my 50s. I married really young, in her 30s.
I mean, I think the most important thing is that your kids play sports for the right reasons.
You know, sports has always been a part of my life. My two brothers and my father coaching us just about every day.
Your motto and your athlete's motto should be to treat others as you want to be treated.
It's kind of like just let the coach coach the kids. Just let the coach deal with the officials.
Be the way you want your kids to be.
We can't express how much youth sports help our three kids.
Welcome to USA Football's Virtual Parents Clinic. My husband Mike and I want to share what we've learned both through our own experience and talking to football parents across the United States.
We are who we are because of us.
We're going to change what we do in the field. We're going to change what we do on everything that we do. You understand me? Yes, sir.
Big range just like a champion. UTSA up on a jet, we gone. The famous girl to mask off. Tell me beat and let the bass talk. Bouncing bottles on the last call. Flew a basic girl out from Alaska. And we got early and inside my station. Two C's on my shoes, these not no aces. Dead on my face, my pockets full of faces. My stomach got 8 feet, it's not no stainless. My rollie tell me what the day is. I like it cause she basic, she got braces. Her followers 100K and she too famous. If she got 1,000, might make her my main. Yeah. You take off on spaceship. That needs some type matrix. And put my that she nameless. Cause the last two was too famous. You got that trophy like a champion. Fall asleep right on the jet. Big ring just like a champion. UTSA up on a jet, we gone. You got the trophy like a champion. Fell asleep right on the jet, we gone. Big ring just like a champion. UTSA up on a jet, we gone. Ballin' like I'm in the NBA. No, these guys cannot see TSA. They found me now, I had to relocate. You, I fight myself, I fight God, just tell me how many birds left. I fight pain and hurricanes that dad wept. I'm trying to fight back tears, blood on my doorsteps. Life is living here, puddles of blood in the street. Shooters on top of the building, government aid and relief. Earthquake, the body drop, the ground breaks. The poor world, the smoke lungs, the scar face. Who need a hero? Who need a hero? Look in the mirror, there go your hero. Who on the front lines and ground zero? My heart does skip a beat even when hard times watch the needle. Mass destruction and mass corruption, the source of suffering.
Second half nearing. Ryan Boyd back with us as the Valor and Courage doing battle in the first of 3 games in the middle school bowl game series here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. 21-13 the score, and haymakers thrown at the end of that half. Valor's Grayson Robinson had his second touchdown where he went 75 yards on a broken reverse play. And then on the other side, Brian Searcy, who has been running the ball all day, tossed a touchdown pass to Soltis for Courage with 8 seconds left in the half. So just to recap, 24 seconds of game time, 14 points, and 150 total yards between these two teams on 2 plays. Incredible.
And this is what you hope to see, right? I mean, obviously, if you're a defensive-minded person, you probably didn't love those 2 plays. But the point is, you've got some of the best young athletes in the country. These are kids that have the brightest of future in terms of their football career. And those individual efforts that we saw in those plays illuminate what the potential is with these players, So that's what I love so much about this type of a game, Lucas. It's just the sheer potential, the raw talent of all these kids, and those two plays in a matter of 24 seconds just really highlighted that for us.
Well, Grayson Robinson is fast. I mean, that is just guaranteed. Brian Searcy showed a lot of speed, too. Been impressed with a lot of these kids. But Grayson Robinson right now, if you're going to give a game MVP, although Valor trailing by 8 in this game, he's got 2 incredible plays, including that 75-yard run, broken reverse. That was just fascinating. The distance he covered, the time the play took, it was just incredible from Grayson Robinson.
Yeah, and it's the strides that he takes. If we see him run in the second half, watch that. The legs, he gets the long strides going, builds up speed in a hurry, and he runs away from people. And in each of those plays, there were guys that looked like they had an angle. Certainly in the second one, there were guys all over the place, and he was just too elusive, too quick. It was really impressive.
Kyle Cox, the quarterback for Courage, on the first play of the half, handoff to Searcy, and he will be brought down to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Just underway in half 2. And Cox, we saw him, he's listed as a wide receiver. He's been rolling in at quarterback. He's got a different type of style, that more shot put style that you've seen actually show up in the NFL and higher college levels a little bit more. It takes a little more strength to throw from that lower position, but you can really get the football off quick. We'll see what Cox has on this drive for Courage as they're sitting comfortably with an 8-point lead. That made that touchdown at the end of the half even bigger.
Yeah, and the high school games that we broadcast year after year, we see a lot of kids like that are really versatile. They can play a lot of positions, skill positions in particular, and this is a young man, Cox, you're talking about, that's going to be like that, I imagine, at the high school level, and that's really valuable for a coaching staff. Not the best throw right there on second down, but he's still a work in progress with that arm, but he's got a great deal of potential.
Jackson Sumner, the first representative we've talked about from the state of Vermont, the intended receiver there. 3rd down and 11. 14 Courage.
And this, in the grand scheme of trying to win this football game, this is a big possession. We talk about this a lot when we broadcast football. The first possession of the game and then of the second half, especially if you're trailing. If you can come out and get a defensive stop here for Valor, you have all the momentum in regards to trying to tie this football game up. So this is a big play right here.
Especially not a lot of possessions to go with the 10-minute quarters. Each of these teams got about 5 or 6 possessions, so a touchdown here could be a huge swing of momentum for Courage, but they're facing a 3rd and 11. Cox over the middle will be brought down by the tight end at the 30 for a 6-yard pickup. On the catch, Graham Dunn, his second catch today out of Lexington, Kentucky.
And Brendan Burke made the stop, at least the initial hit on that play, and that goes back to something I mentioned in the first half too. That's good defense. You'll allow that catch because you know that it's short of the first down. So it's good defense, just make the tackle, and Burke, along with one of his teammates, was able to do just that.
And 4th down and 5 will force a punt from Gerald Chapman, the head coach of this Courage team. And the punt is away, end over end. It'll take a fortunate bounce for Valor, and they'll start in plus territory at the 43-yard line of the Courage. So huge defensive stop on that play. Kyle Cox running the drive. Valor, they gave up that huge touchdown at the end of the half. They get a stop here and get the football back in plus territory to try to draw even or draw close in this game as we move into the latter stages.
Yeah, and this is where things get interesting, right? I mentioned it before. It's a game that's for fun. And you want the kids to enjoy it, but you want to be competitive, and you want to learn some things along the way. And as we get closer to quarter number 4, there's going to be a lot more strategy employed here. And that goes to the point of this being a big drive here for Valor.
Calling for a motion, not getting it. The quarterback, Bagwell, will fake the handoff. Coven Smith, go right side, lean forward. Penalty marker down, no gain. It's going to be an illegal formation on Valor. You kind of saw that coming. When looking over to the sideline was Ethan Bagwell, the quarterback, called for a motion, and nobody moved. And that's one of those things that happen when you only have 5 days to install an offense. When you try to add in motion, which much credit to these kids that these coaches even had the confidence to install motion sets when you only have 5 days to implement an offense.
Yeah, you're certainly right about that. I'll also make note of the fact that R.J. Pearson made a really nice tackle on that play. It's not going to go in the stat book because of the penalty, but the pursuit to get around his offensive tackle and then to wrap it up around the ankles and bring him down, that was a great individual defensive play made by Pearson.
1st down and 15 after the penalty pushes back Valor to begin this very crucial drive in terms of if they want to win this football game. But even when you take a look at the coaches on the sideline, and you and I, we've seen a lot of coaches at a high level, and they're acting like just like they would if this were a Division I football game. Bagwell, 4-step drop, fires deep down the sideline. Little bit of hand fighting, and that's going to be an easy penalty called. Having his hand out in confusion is Jalen Neely, who got a start in this game out of Georgia, but he definitely gave a tug on the jersey of the intended receiver.
Yeah, so that'll be pass interference, maybe a holding call. We'll see which way they go with it, but yeah, and it'll be a hold, so defensive hold, a little different than pass interference. Oh, no, it was pass interference, I suppose. I look like he did the holding signal. But anyways, one comment I would make on that there, the quarterback, that was a smart decision. He was under a lot of pressure.
One-on-one.
Took a big hit. Yeah, you throw that one up there, one-on-one. It's not as risky as going into a double coverage or something like that. And it worked out because he was smart there to throw that football up.
Especially Parker Kennedy, big-bodied wide receiver, his second year participating in this middle school game. He was the intended target on that pass. Bagwell, empty set, quick throw out left side, planting and making a man, misses the receiver. He's got room 25-20. As Evan Toth will be brought down inside the 10, a big-time play. As correction, Jace Hurd out of Avon, Indiana, makes the play inside the 10 to the 7. They've got double numbers on offense and defense to the Valor. The 13 on defense, Evan Toth. The 13 on offense, the man you just saw make the play, Jace Hurd.
Yeah, and you draw these plays up, Lucas, with the intent of making a man miss. You know that your receiver is going to be guarded pretty tightly. You assume they'll be guarded pretty tightly at the very beginning of making this play, and then you want an individual move to get free, and he did just that. Look at that broken tackle, all the grass in front of him there after he makes that play. And then I love that he didn't go out of bounds either. He turns it upfield, gets some more yardage inside the 10. That's a great play.
Ball plays to the 7. Bagwell will take it himself, pick up 2 yards out to the 5, and a 2nd and goal now for Valor. Valor down by 8. It was a 24-second, 14-point, 150-yard two-play sequence from these two teams that put the score where it is at now. Courage 21, Valor 13. Valor at the 5-yard line with their first possession of this second half. Ethan Bagwell, the quarterback. He'll be an empty set. Bagwell, few loud barks trying to get the defensive line to move. Take a few more peeks over the sideline. Bagwell fires over the middle and did not have his feet set right. Tried to hit Hurd again, but this time incomplete and 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, and that one's just unfortunate because Hurd had his feet also tangled up with the defensive back, and you would have seen there on the video he went down before the football reached him. So there was never really a chance of that one being completed, but now you find yourself in a tough spot. 3rd down and goal. The 5-yard line, Lucas, is tough. You're still possibly in a running set, but also very likely a throwing set as well. So for the coaching staff, the whole playbook in play here on 3rd and 5 from the 5.
Big-time opportunity for Ethan Bagwell to help his team out. Valor down 8. Bagwell, off-balance throw, end zone, knocked out of bounds. Redemption play there from Jalen Neely, who had the big-time pass interference earlier in this drive as he breaks up that pass. And it's 4th down and goal from the 5. And the Courage, if they get a stop here, all momentum will be on their side. They had the huge play at the end of the half. They gave up good field position to Valor to start this half. But if they get a stop here, 8-point lead in the ball, they'll feel really good about it.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to possibly kick this football.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah, take the 3, make it a 5-point game.
Jeff Anderson, the head coach for Valor, the one making this decision. There'll be no rush on the kick, no threat of it being blocked. It's literally just about if you have the confidence in Luke Ryers out of Woodbury, Minnesota, to make this kick. Brother, a kicker at the University of Minnesota. The defensive line trying their best to distract the kicker because all they can do is distract. The kick is up, and it is good. As Ryers adds 3 for Valor, and Courage will maintain a 5-point lead. An interesting decision from Jeff Anderson, deciding to go with 3. And now it's about stopping Team Courage. With 5:40 left in this 3rd quarter, the defenses look good. They had that one break on a trick play at the end of the half, but other than that, they really settled down in the latter parts of that first half.
Yeah, and I think the percentages would tell you that 3 is the right play there. You want to find yourself in a position where a touchdown could potentially win this football game. So you take the points, because prior to this, you would have had to have had a 2-point conversion anyways to try and tie it up. 5 yards to gain, also 4th and 5 from the 5-yard line. It's, again, not a lot of easy calls in the playbook for that. So I like the 3 there, and depend on your defense moving forward. Still a lot of time, Lucas, too, only midway through this third quarter.
5:40 left in the third. 21-16, Courage leading Valor. Fake handoff, throw Kyle Cox outside, trying to make a man miss, and does, dragging him forward to the 35 is the Courage receiver, Noah Jabor, out of Sateville, New York. 21-16, the lead for Team Courage. Ryers just knocked in a field goal for Team Valor. Ball at the 36-yard line, first down and 10. After Jabor picked up the first down yardage. Cox, the quarterback, in currently for Courage. Kyle Cox out of Newark, Ohio. Playing in his home state. He hopes to be playing in this stadium in his high school days where the state championships in the state of Ohio will be playing. A handoff up the middle going nowhere. Stephen Griffin Jr. for Team Courage. And it's second down and 12. And Ryan, you've had an opportunity to broadcast some state championship games in the state of Ohio at this very stadium. It's a prestigious site, and some of the best football talent in the country at the high school levels in the state of Ohio. So a lot of great football played here next to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in November.
Yeah, just this past November, I was here broadcasting a high school state championship game, and you're right. This is, professional football is played here. And by the way, for folks listening or watching that don't live in this area, this stadium has been totally redone. It's basically been rebuilt from the ground up. As again, the defensive line, Lucas, has been fantastic for Valor. But anyways, there's something special about playing here, and they really do pack this place. Maybe not every seat full for every game, but you play divisions 1 through 7 here in Ohio, right here in this stadium, all within a couple days span. And usually it's cold. It feels like football weather. There's snow sometimes. I think last year there was rain and snow mix. It just feels like the way football state championships should be played. So for the young men that are from Ohio, this could be a destination later in their career. But for those that are not, that have traveled here for this game, still a wonderful opportunity to play in a really historic venue.
Well, Cox, the quarterback currently for Team Courage, facing a 3rd down and 14 out of Newark, Ohio. The only player on Team Courage from the Buckeye State. Cox under pressure, steps up, looking to run, has room to run, but will be brought down hard. Ball might have popped out. No, they'll say he's down. But a great play from the Valor linebacker. I believe that was Brendan Burke in on the tackle. So he hit him pretty hard. Burke out of Warren, Massachusetts. 2:55 remaining in this third quarter. 21-16 the lead for Team Courage. Valor will be forced to punt it away. And what do you think of this decision from? What do you think is this decision? Well, it's 4th down and 8 rather.
Yeah, so
for Team Courage, this is an easy decision then for Courage.
Yeah, so what I would say is this so far has worked out the exact way that you would have wanted it to if you were Valor. We talked about whether or not the field goal was the right play, and my opinion on it was that it was, because you wanted to rely on your defense and see what they could do. Well, the defense comes out, forces a really quick punt, and now you're playing to take the lead. Before it was, hey, we need a touchdown and a 2. Now a touchdown puts you back in front.
2:34 left in this third quarter. That means 12:34 remaining in this ball game. And we'll see which quarterback steps out for Team Valor. As Eric Kasperowitz, the quarterback, will hand off. It'll be brought down to the backfield. Will, the running back. As Canton Northington gets another carry out of Evansville, Indiana. And he's brought down way behind the line of scrimmage. A bad start for Team Valor on this crucial drive, down by 5. They push them all the way back to the 35-yard line. 9-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, and playing behind the sticks like this is, always difficult. It just limits the playbook. And even for a coaching staff as experienced and talented and from various walks of the football life, 2nd down and long, 3rd down and this long, is there's very few options in that playbook.
Pistol formation. Snap taking Kasparowicz. He'll toss left side and then to be brought down at the 42-yard line. Stratton Fuller, the one that made that play out of Columbia City, Indiana. Indiana, heavily represented state in this game.
Yeah, and Coven Smith made the tackle, and Taylor, who made the tackle, and that was a big boy hit. And as far as plays go, I'm talking about how it's tough to have plays in the playbook for that. That was not a bad option. You get yourself back to third and relatively manageable. I mean, you're still 10 plus yards, but at least it's better than that 19 or 20 that you were looking at a moment ago.
Opens up the playbook a bit. 3rd down and 12. More things to draw up out of that than 3rd and 20. Kasparowicz in the pistol formation. Behind him, Northington will fake the handoff. Northington roll out left side. Kasparowicz, we've seen him with the ability to run. He'll be dragged out of bounds after 2 yards, and it's 4th down and long. And that first play, that 9-yard loss getting behind the sticks, is going to force Valor to punt back to Courage late in the 3rd quarter. Courage maintaining a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and there was just no chance on that play because the rush package that was employed by Courage immediately put pressure on the quarterback to the point where he couldn't even look through his reads from the quarterback position. Immediately had to run, and you're not going to run for 12 yards very often, so that was well done by Courage, although...
No punt here. They came in ready to snap the football, and Kasparowicz draws a man offside for Team Courage. William Bryce Daniels on the far side, the man that jumped.
So now sensing a bit of urgency is Valor as we near the end of this 3rd quarter. This is an interesting decision, going for it down only 5.
46-yard line, the line to get. 4th down and 4. Kasparowicz in the pistol. Taking a long look over at his offensive staff on the sideline. Kasparowicz, the snap. The lefty throw in and out of the hands. Big time opportunity for Stratton Fuller. If he makes that catch, he can probably fall backwards and grab the 1st down. But instead, a turnover on downs, and Team Courage, they survive a small mistake, and they get the football back late in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and obviously Fuller's going to want that play back, and that's a catch that he'll make more times than not. The thing I did like about it, Lucas, was that he ran the route perfectly, and you kind of alluded to this. Where he was standing, he would have caught the football, fallen down, and had a 1st down. And that's something that you actually coach kids. They need to know where the sticks are at all times, especially on 3rd or 4th down, because if you run that route short, catch the football, and you're pushed out of bounds or tackled, that is as back-breaking as anything.
Jurgensen toss out to Rico Bond, who picks up 5 yards for Team Courage on 1st down. And beyond that even, it's where do you stop on that in route?
Yes.
Do you stop?
Yes.
You got to stop right in between the zone. You can't go too far. You can't go too shallow. So not only do you have to go deep enough, but you have to go the right, place in the field.
Yeah, and we've seen countless NFL guys make careers out of being that type of a receiver, that slot receiver that's able to sit down in the defense and make short catch after short catch.
Searcy with speed, a lot of room to run out across the 35. Inside the 30 goes Brian Searcy. Was waiting for him to put it into 6th gear and bust up that right sideline, but Valor, they changed their strategy a little bit, got a little more conservative in terms of going after Searcy, and they contained him and kept him from the end zone.
Yeah, and speed is such a valuable weapon, and we've seen numerous guys in this game that have got great athleticism and speed, and that's something coaches can't really coach, if you will. And we see in the NFL, we see in Division I college football, recruiting guys like that, signing guys like that. There are ways, Lucas, to build your offense to suit those types of players. And that's what makes me so impressed by a few of these guys from Courage and Valor that have had the big plays today. It's just great athleticism.
Timeout taken by Team Valor just before the end of the 3rd quarter. And it's a good time to remind you that in 2018, more than 10,000 high schools, middle schools, and youth organizations enrolled in USA Football's Heads Up football program. The nationally renowned program takes a comprehensive approach to a better, safer game, covering player safety and football fundamentals for high schools, middle schools, and youth leagues. Enroll your program at usafootball.com/heads-up. So 3 seconds left. Team Valor just didn't have the right setup, the right look. And they go ahead and grab that timeout. Want to make sure you're organized. Ball in the hands of Team Courage. Brian Searcy with a big run to push him inside the 30 to the 27. Jurgensen, three-step drop, fires end zone over the head of the intended receiver. As Christian Soltis, who's already had one big catch today from Brian Searcy, the running back, at the end of the half, could not make that reception. And that brings an end to the third quarter. Courage 21, Valor 16. We've got a close one. We've got a fun one to open up the day at Tom Benson Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll be back from Canton, Ohio. You're watching USA Football.
Team Courage 21, Team Valor 16.
(21-16). Team Courage in the lead with the football inside Team Valor territory at the 27-yard line. They've got a chance to make this a two-possession game in this fourth quarter. Jurgensen, the quarterback, drops back, fires over the middle on a slant, but whistles on the field before the play can continue. And the Courage coaching staff upset with the whistle, as they thought it was after the play had begun, and they thought they had a touchdown. As Jurgensen hit his receiver in stride, and it looked like he was going to be walking into the end zone.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call is going to be here.
Have not moved the football back.
Yeah, but you're right, Lucas. The throw was perfect. My goodness, that play was drawn up on the quick slant. And you're right, there was going to be one man to beat after that catch was made. That will frustrate a coach, as they still have not moved the football. So I'm not sure if maybe the chains just weren't set or they weren't ready for the start of this quarter. But that was going to be a big-time play in this game.
2nd down and 10 for Team Courage from the 27. Bjorn Jurgensen out of Orlando, Florida. One-step drop, fires a man. It's the same exact play. This time it picks up 9 yards. The intended target brings it in. Noah Taylor from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Floridian connection picks up 9 yards.
And that play may not have gotten as many yards as the one before would have, but it was still a great play by the receiver because he was waiting to take a big-time shot after he caught the football. And at this age, they're still learning kind of the dynamics of catching the football, protecting yourself, going to the ground. And he did a marvelous job right there to make the play and set himself up and his team up for a 3rd and short.
3rd down and inches. Ball at the 18. Need to get to the 17 and a half for a 1st down. Shotgun for Jurgensen. Handoff Jerkowski. Big body. He's got the 1st down and then some as he's brought down near the 15-yard line. And a 1st down for Team Courage inside the red zone.
Nothing tricky about that one. I think sometimes the way offenses are now drawn up at all levels, there's a lot of trickeration and there's a lot of, maybe overthinking stuff. Right there, that's the right call, right? Give it to your big guy. You need a yard, maybe less than a yard. Let him take care of it, and he did just that.
Jurgensen will be in the shotgun. 1st down and 10. From the 16. Jurgensen fires back shoulder. Caught, touchdown. How about Noah Taylor reading the back shoulder, and what a throw from Jurgensen. The Floridian connection makes another impact, and Team Courage has a 2-possession lead early in this 4th quarter.
It's a thing of beauty. I mean, that really is as good of a throw and catch as we've seen in this game in terms of the level of difficulty, right? We've seen a nice throw or two that's been made to some open receivers, but that one was good, pretty good coverage, but the throw was great. Here we go. Replay coming in hot as the look at the catch on the back shoulder throw. Got up high into the air. Arms went up high to get up above the defender, reel that one in, and then to get down into the end zone. That's a really nice play.
Kick is up, and it is good. Another great thing he did is he saw the football and knew not to tip it off to the DB until it was the very last second. That's when you turn your body and get your hands up, because you turn that body too early, that DB can adjust, because he wasn't looking at the football. He was looking at you. So a really great play all the way around from Team Courage. A 12-point lead with 8:36 left in this fourth quarter, and it's a good time to remind you that First Down introduces kids and parents to the game of football in a fun, free, and friendly format. Kids get active and learn the basics like running, jumping, passing, and catching through hundreds of events across the country. Hosted by USA Football and community organizations, kids will experience football for the first time. First Down brings football to everyone and starts them on the player pathway in the football development model. Learn more at usafootball.com/firstdown. 28-16, 12-point lead. But in this game, we've seen big plays, and big plays happen quickly. Team Valor not out of it by any stretch of the imagination in this final 8 minutes and 33. But if they want to make something happen, they're going to need to make it happen now. And the quarterback in to try to make it happen for Jeff Anderson, the head coach of this Valor team, will be Lamar Best out of Willingboro, New Jersey. Best out of the pistol, fakes a handoff under pressure, and he's going to be wrapped up for a sack in the backfield. And this Team Courage defensive line has been a menace all day long.
Yeah, and just nobody fooled on that play, right? You try the play action if you're Valor, hoping the defense might bite on it, open up some opportunity for your quarterback to look down the field, but nobody fell for that. As soon as he came out of the play action, he was swarmed. And that's not Best's fault. It's just that there was nothing for him to do in that situation.
Nick Kojko, Stephen Jones, a couple of the names up front that have been dominating this game for Team Courage. Best takes the snap. Two-step drop, steps up in the pocket, and brought down again behind the line of scrimmage. Just too much pressure for Courage, not enough pocket space to work with. Celebrating the sack that time for Courage, Brennan Johnson, the linebacker out of Henrico, Virginia. And back-to-back sacks on Lamar Best.
And you made the right point. There's just no way to draw up a passing offense if your quarterback doesn't have time to throw. And the dilemma that Valor finds themselves in, Lucas, is that they're down by enough with a short amount of time left that they almost have to throw the football, at least on most plays, and Courage knows that, and they're taking advantage of it.
3rd down and 14. Expect another rush for Courage. They're showing blitz, and they jumped. And 5 yards given. That's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen that penalty today. The man that just got the sack, Brennan Johnson, gets a little aggressive, hoping to get another one as he was getting sent on a linebacker blitz.
Yep, getting anxious there, and the coaches will let him know. When it's 3rd and that long, there's no reason to try and get a head start. You know, you're playing a safety defense there where you just don't want to let them get a first. Well, now you've opened the door a little bit by making it 3rd and a little bit shorter. So again, just learning experiences that these kids, they'll take a lot away from this one.
3rd down and 9. Lamar Best in the pistol.
3rd down and 9.
Coven Smith, the running back behind him. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Best quick throw outright. Grayson Robinson, explosive and dangerous. He's in open space. Penalty markers down, might be a hold. Robinson uses his speed. He's going to finish off this play, but 2 flags in a position that normally indicates hold. It was fun watching Grayson Robinson run, but let's see if it counts.
It's not going to count, Lucas. I can tell you that right now. However, if you're at home following this game, I mean, circle this name, write it down, circle it. This kid is phenomenal. He's got great instinct and the speed. I'm telling you, we had a great look on the play. Again, they said offensive pass interference, so they're marching this back. But there was a great look on our feed as he's going down the sideline, the close-up, the legs. I'm telling you, the long strides. This kid can fly, and that one may not count in the stat book, but that is just another example of the potential that young man has.
Just a great natural running motion, and it's one of those things where it looks a little awkward for his current body size. But you add in about 3 or 4 inches of height, keep that running motion, it'll look about as smooth as it could look for anybody really running. Grayson Robinson showcasing the talent, gets pegged with an offensive pass interference and make it 3rd down and 19.
And I'd say between Robinson and then 17, folks, Parker Kennedy III, the size on that young man. He is tall, he's built, got some good speed as well. There's some receivers on this Valor team that have just really bright futures.
Kennedy the third at the bottom of your screen. 6:35 left in the fourth. Best looking for Kennedy. Now will escape out. Scrambles, has room to run across the 25 and brought down at the 30. But it won't be nearly enough for a first down, about 4 yards short of the line to gain.
So now you ask yourself the question of whether or not, I was going to say, is it time to go? It probably is. The clock down to 6 minutes left in this football game. You need 2 scores. You're not as worried about not getting this one because the game might be over either way. So, yeah, I'm with you, Lucas. I think you're going here.
Well, especially with an option of no onside kick. There's no way to get the football back like that. You need a stop in this game.
It's a good point.
With the removal of the kickoff. So this possession, critical. And knowing that, Team Valor.
Team Courage.
Now, Courage will take the timeout as Chatham from the Cincinnati Bengals decides to use one of those timeouts, and it's a good time to let you know that USA's Football's 2019 National Conference with speaker tracks for high school and youth football coaches delivers insight to lift your program. Hear college and NFL coaches, leaders in athlete health, and other experts in Orlando from February 22nd to 24th. They made sure they put it somewhere warm during the month of February. Early bird rates are open at usafootball.com. That's usafootball.com.
Speaking of weather, it's a toasty day here. This is only the first game of the day. We're probably in the low to mid 80s right now, but by the end of this day, it's expected to get into the 90s, and it's humid. A lot of sunshine. There's not much cloud cover right now. It's one of those days where for a football player, middle of the summer, this will be a warm one.
Big time play here. The heat is on. Lamar Best. 4th down and 4. Best takes the snap under pressure, and he's going to be brought down by a gang of Courage tacklers, and that's a turnover on downs. And that may be all she wrote. Team Courage still got some things to execute over these last 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but they've got a 12-point lead. Ball inside the 30 of Team Valor, and there's no way for Valor to get an onside kick. So if they can just run the football here, pick up a few first downs, Team Courage should be on their way to a hard-fought and well-earned victory.
And so much credit has to go to the defensive play of Courage. 16 points allowed, but the truth is the overall product on the defensive side has been constant pressure in the backfield. So the defensive line and linebackers and even the DBs that have blitzed, that has been phenomenal. The other side of it, Lucas, has just been the pure tackling ability. There have not been many missed tackles on the side of Courage, and that's a big reason why they're leading this football game.
Shane Throgmartin in at quarterback. He'll pitch left side. Stephen Griffin Jr. trying to use his speed. Will push forward to the original line of scrimmage. Lose maybe one. Griffin Jr. obviously one of the smaller players in size, but he's earned his way here just like everybody else. He's a quick guy, athlete, shifty on the outside. Just needs to grow into the body a little bit. And that's sometimes hard to remember. Some kids develop a little sooner than others. Anthony Davis, huge example. 6'3" till his senior year of high school. Then became 6'11". Now he's one of the most dominant players in the NBA. And you see stories like that all over the place in sports. So, sometimes it's unfair for us to peg these kids as future stars in 6th grade when their bodies haven't even had the opportunity to fully develop.
Well, and that's one thing we'll see today. For folks that are going to follow along for all 3 games, you're going to see a massive difference in these kids as we get to older levels of football. And we're talking about 1 or 2 year difference, but some of these kids have just developed at a massively different rate. So you're right, it is something to think about.
Throgmartin, quick throw left side, picking up off the turf. They'll say it hit the turf. Incomplete pass. Or they'll say his knee was down, and it'd be a 3-yard pickup. I thought there's no way that hit the turf, but it's 3rd down and 7 now after the completed pass by Throgmartin.
And now you're under 4 minutes to play, so obviously a must-stop here if you're Valor. And I would anticipate that Courage will keep the ball in some way. They're going to make sure they keep the ball and the clock moving. It could be a short pass, a quick screen, or a running play, of course, but something to make sure that clock doesn't stop.
Throgmartin has the play call in, delivering it to the huddle. Probably one of the most underrated skills a quarterback needs to learn, communication. Both to the line, in the huddle. Throgmorton in the shotgun. Searcy to his right. He's been a great runner all day. They'll give it to him, and he'll be stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Great play by Benjamin Powell from Mount Vernon, Indiana. So he got in the backfield and swarmed up the speedy Searcy.
And when you talk about development in terms of size, Powell is a guy that is certainly in the midst of his development. He is a big kid and a physical player on the inside. We've said his name a number of times. It was a nice stop there, and keeps his team, at least for now. It keeps him in this football game, still a chance to try and make this one close down the stretch.
Now, Team Valor using another timeout here. They know they got to get the ball back and score, and with 3:06 left, it's hard for me to really do the math without an onside kick involved in terms of being able to come back in this game if you're Team Valor.
I think the good thing is, from the coaching perspective side of it, the Valor staff is going to be telling their young men, let's put together a drive as if we're trying to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
It's a learning experience. Like I said from the beginning, everybody wants to win. Of course, that's why you play sports. But you treat this 3:06 as if you have a chance to win, as if this drive is everything. And that's a great learning experience for these kids to play in that kind of hurry-up offense.
Well, they will get the ball as confirming his decision to punt it away is Gerald Chapman. Chapman, one of two Cincinnati Bengals coaches coaching Team Courage today. And I think a lot of folks in Cincinnati hope the coaching job they did today with Team Courage carries over to some victories for the team on the southern part of this state.
Punt goes out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
And obviously the stadium we're playing in today, 3:06 left in the fourth. Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium is the home of the Hall of Fame game, which is the inaugural preseason game for the National Football League. And right adjacent to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In fact, we're looking at it right now, Ryan. Beautiful setup. They're starting to build a lot of things around the stadium. There's a planned Hall of Fame hotel just past the stadium. Some more really cool pavilions and such planned to be around the stadium. It's supposed to be a place where football can call itself home is the goal from the Pro Football Hall of Fame here with Tom Benson Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, and it's critical to the city here of Canton. Obviously, for those that are not from this area, close to Akron, also close to Cleveland, as another defensive line play. I mean, the swarming is just unbelievable. But just to complete my thought, Lucas, the importance of this facility, of that Pro Football Hall of Fame, of all the things surrounding it, it really is a lifeline or just a critical piece of this community, not far from the other big cities in this area. So it's nice to see that the resources are available to continue expanding this place.
Bagwell was a quarterback. Bad start to the drive for Team Valor. So handoff up the middle to avoid a safety, get about 2 yards of breathing room for a third down and long. And it's a beautiful facility, and it's a beautiful Hall of Fame. It's one of the most well-renowned Hall of Fames in the country. And our view from the press box, gorgeous with the neighborhoods in the background. You can see the Hall of Fame, see the entire field. Great facilities. And, the state of Ohio went through a little bit of controversy. They moved the state championship games from the Horseshoe in Columbus to this stadium. Some disagreed with that. Some thought as Bagwell will roll out left side, and he's going to be brought down in the end zone for a safety. It was Hunter Duran from Erie, Colorado, the first Team Courage player in there. Wrapping up Bagwell, and it's going to be 30-16, Courage in the lead, and Courage gets the football back on a punt with 1:48 left. And if it wasn't all she wrote before, that play will confirm it. The Team Courage defensive line on that drive basically telling the story of the whole game. A lot of pressure up front caused a lot of problems for the Team Valor offense.
Yeah, we're beating the same drum, and for good reason. I mean, it just has been a dominant defensive line performance, and well-deserved victory is going to be in the hands of Courage here, and they should be proud of themselves. To go back to what you were talking about, I just find it fascinating, the changes here in the state of Ohio, and you mentioned the Horseshoe. For those that aren't familiar, obviously that's Ohio Stadium. That's where the Ohio State Buckeyes play. When you think about the experience these kids are getting today even, it's those are the two venues. It's Ohio Stadium and it's here. Those are the two big ones that are not professional in terms of a home field for the Bengals or the Browns, but those are the big two. So maybe these kids don't get to see Ohio State, unfortunately, but this not as big. Ohio Stadium holds 100,000 people, but this still a perfect setting.
But I think the 100,000-seat stadium for a high school state championship game is a little aggressive.
Oh, sure,
and it feels pretty empty even when you have 10,000 in there.
The only perk of it, of course, is that Columbus is central in the
to
state.
The state,
right.
Exactly. And the Canton, Ohio, tucked in the northeast corner of the state. I know we've got listeners from all over the country, so we're trying to be a little more specific. Normally, you and I are firing at the mouth with Ohio slang, like, wow, you don't know what that is? But up here in Canton, Ohio, northeast part of the state.
Well, a lot of these kids, do come from bigger states as well, so they can probably understand, and they'll see as they get to high school, there are some politics and some complications that come into selecting, where some of these big games are played, and I have to assume, with the talent that we have here, a lot of these kids will get to experience, semifinals, finals, things like that, and probably have to do some traveling, the Floridas and Texas and those types of states. I mean, there's a lot of travel involved, and it's the same right here in Ohio. And Ohio, of course, a big high school football state.
Probably one of the top 5. You mentioned Texas, Florida.
California,
100%. A lot of great quarterback play out in California. Stephen Griffin Jr. will be brought down from behind as he tried to escape for Team Courage as they wind out the clock on what will be a victory in the first of 3 middle school bowl game series here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. The USA Football National Tournament is essentially preparing. There's the international series for the U19, U18, U17, U16 groups. This is U15 and U14 today. And these kids are preparing to be on those teams that had Dwayne Haskins, Todd Gurley, Stephon Tuitt. You go right down the list, NFL players, 6 of the first 30 picks in this year, 6 of the first 60 picks, rather, in this year's NFL draft were USA Football members. A ton of talent. Cox fires over the middle. It's going to be caught by a receiver, Rico Bond. He keeps the football loose as he'll cross across the 40 for a first down. But 0-0. And that will be the end of this one. Team Courage with a big-time victory. Brian Searcy with a highlight pass to Soltis at the end of the half. And then they just added on in half number 2, a 30-16 victory. Team Valor could only muster a field goal in half number 2 because the storyline of this game, that Team Courage defensive line, Stephen Jones, Nick Conja, Anthony Crawford, Isaiah Norton, Malik Winfield, William Bryce Dunn, just some of the names. William Bryce Daniels, rather, just some of the names to name on that defensive line for Team Courage, who did an incredible job and secured the victory today.
Yeah, I like a lot of what I saw in this one on both sides. Truly, a lot of potential for both teams, but you're right. It ultimately came down to the defensive line play on the defense and then just a couple of big plays for Courage on the offensive side that were enough to put those 30 points on the board, 28 of which, of course, were offense, the 2 from the safety from that defense. So pretty complete effort from Courage today.
We do have team MVPs, one from each team. For Team Courage, a little bit of a debate. You could have maybe said a defensive lineman, but Brian Searcy was the most impressive runner. He had that huge run in the first half. He was quick. He was explosive. He was an incredible player today, and he wins team MVP for Team Courage here in the Middle School Bowl.
Yeah, well-deserved. Again, it goes back to what I said. Right now, coaches across the country are building offenses that fit these small, slim, extremely explosive players, and that's the type of kid he is right now. Again, there's room for growth, but he fits that build of what offenses look like right now in football, and that's why he was so hard to stop today.
And another person that fits the build of what offenses look like. Offenses normally looking for wide receivers with instinct hands and can fly, and that's exactly what Grayson Robinson brought today. The straight line speed, unthinkable for a kid his age. Grayson Robinson, 2 touchdowns today for Team Valor, both touchdowns, including a 75-yard scamper on a double reverse that was broken. One of the more impressive plays you'll see from a runner.
Well, and if you remember, he should have had 3 touchdowns. There was an offensive pass interference that called one back, and so I guess I shouldn't say should have. Maybe that's not the right terminology, but what I will say is we watched him get into the end zone 3 times, and right now he's accepting his award. Where's number 11 there for Valor? The stats say one thing, but Lucas, the simple fact of the matter is both those young men, you can get a good look at them right there.
Grayson Robinson on the left, Brian Searcy on the right.
Yes, both young men with a great future ahead of them, both incredibly quick, elusive, all of those words, all those athletic words that you place on a football player, both of them certainly possess that.
Potentially bright futures for those two young men. We've got a bright future for the rest of today. We still have 2 more football games to cover from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. Ryan and I will be back for those final 2 contests a little bit later. Thank you so much for watching. Team Courage 30, Team Valor 16. The final score, Brian Searcy, the team MVP for Courage, Grayson Robinson, the team MVP for Team Valor. This is USA Football at Tom Benson Memorial Stadium.